Just straight into it, no preamble or nothing, huh?
I mean, I don't know.
I'm just like getting things ready over here. Daniel's like, well, I got my headphones on. I've turned on the recorder. I haven't even plugged in my headphones. Well, now I have.
But you hadn't whenever you first started that thought.
I'm just saying we ain't even gotten into the preamble yet, which is like the unrecorded pre-show.
The unrecorded pre-show. What do they call that? The pre-flight?
It's called preamble. I don't even know if our show notes are in order yet.
I hope not. It'd be more fun if they weren't in order.
So that topic, and then this conversation about the Leica MEV1 is going to get moved again for the third week in a row.
All the Leica bros are going to write in.
This is terrible. We don't even have, like, if I cut this out, I mean, I only have to scroll for 5 minutes to get to the end of the Sony topic. And then next show is camera brand reviews. And the show after that is camera of the year. We're not going to talk about that Leica until next year.
Yep. That's
literally next year.
Next year topic.
It is a next year topic. My goodness.
Well, we've got to get to those brand review and camera of the year episodes.
Camera of the year, man.
People look forward to those.
Camera of the year. We got some
camera of the year is heating up. I'd say.
Have you started prepping?
A little bit. I've thought about it some.
Man, this is going to be maybe the most contentious camera of the year episode.
It does feel like there's not a single obvious winner in a way that will make it interesting.
There have been a lot of cameras, Daniel.
Indeed. A lot of cameras.
Okay. Enough of this pre-show. Mumble jumble. I've been thinking about your situation quite a bit.
To tell, what is my situation more specifically?
Look, Daniel. Listen. Hey, Daniel. Just listen.
I'm kind of stuck in that situation right now. So anytime.
So you've been talking about how, maybe swimming would be a good exercise for you.
I think so.
Get some laps in.
Yeah.
Work on that form maybe a little bit.
Get that full body, low impact workout.
Sure. Yeah. You've been talking about that. And then, not too long ago, you said, hey, Lucas, what if we got my bike going again? What if we got that puppy tightened up and new tires in it? And, maybe I should ride my bike more, looking for avenues for that cardiovascular exercise.
Yep. Yeah. All things, well, not the swimming, but the biking is something that I did before COVID, and just been feeling like it's time to get back to that.
Not right now because it's freaking 30 degrees outside.
Well, and also we're recording a podcast, so right now probably.
Right now wouldn't be enough time. Daniel, it's so cold outside. I know that I complain about how cold it is on this podcast a lot. Every time it gets under like 60.
Definitely under 60 right now.
Sometimes I wish we lived somewhere warmer.
Wow. Where would that be?
I don't know. I don't want to live somewhere more humid. That's the problem.
That is definitely
because I don't want to live in like Florida or the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Because it's just really humid and I would just sweat so much.
Yeah.
What I need, like if I could trade like maybe 10 more degrees in the summer, like maybe it gets up to 120. Like that's fine. As long as it doesn't get below 50.
The problem is the desert does get cold. Like
see?
You go to
I can't go to Arizona
Phoenix or something. Yeah, like it gets cold there too. So,
there's just, I don't know. This is just the best that I can get.
You're going to have to become like a snowbird type person where you just migrate,
Alternately, I'm going to just have to buy a coat.
That would work too, That is another solution that has worked for other people in the past.
I have a puffy jacket.
Puffy jackets are kind of magical. Honestly.
And I have like this just kind of just I don't know what the material is. Just kind of like a regular light jacket that I can wax to make waterproof and kind of hold a little more heat in. And I'll wear the puffy jacket under that for like layers. Ooh. But I haven't been able to find the puffy jacket. I put it in one of the boxes and I know that it's in my house somewhere and I have not found it.
The joys of moving.
And so I'm like really just toughing it and it's cold.
Yeah, you're going to need that puffy jacket. You might need to tear the house upside down tonight to find that.
Point is, Daniel got a lot of stuff going on. The point is, you got to work on your swimming.
Yeah.
You want to start biking. Historically, you have ran in the past.
You ran
like a pretty decent, 10K once.
It's an acceptable 10K, I'd say.
It was. I would say it was an acceptable 10K. That was. I mean, sure, that was in 2017.
Yeah. It was only 8 years ago.
It was only 8 years ago, but I mean, you should probably pick that puppy back up.
I don't think so.
I think that you should run the triathlon on Memorial Day with me.
I think it's a pretty bold target.
I think you should run either a rookie or a sprint triathlon.
What are the distances on those?
Okay, the sprint is a 750 meter swim, a 14-mile bike ride, and a 3-mile run.
Mm-hmm.
And the rookie is a 300 or 500 meter swim. I can't remember which. And then a 14-mile bike ride and a 2-mile run.
Oh, okay.
Very achievable.
I feel like the swimming is definitely the long pole on both of those in the sense that I need to get to where I feel like I could swim that far.
Sure.
But the biking and running, I feel very confident I could do.
That's most triathletes. Daniel, you should just do the rookie one.
You think so?
I'll do it with you. I'll stay with you side by side.
You would love that so much.
I think you're underselling how much I would love it. It would be borderline the highlight of my year.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like me and Daniel running a triathlon together and then getting married.
I have a 20-pound weighted vest. You should wear that for all three.
I just drowned.
I don't know, man. You might be able to do it. 300 meters, 500 meters, whatever it is. I feel like you might be able to do it.
You're right. I should have more confidence in myself.
It gives you something to work for, too.
You know what? You're right, Daniel.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that would be more enjoyable to do as my first thing or the Taco Bell 50K?
I mean, that's just a totally different challenge. One, it doesn't involve...
That one's more of a gastronomical challenge.
I feel like it's something that I need to really work towards because I mean my problem in the last race was related to nutrition.
That's true. You had a hard time getting enough nutrition. Would not have happened if you were eating Crunch Wraps.
No. Well, TBD, right? No one knows. Mm-hmm. Like maybe that's the answer. It's just Crunch Wraps. Mm-hmm. Like you have to build up to being able to process that much food. Mm-hmm. And so if I was training for the Taco Bell 50K, then that would probably cover all my training needs.
You're probably right.
Anyway, that's it.
It would also cover all of your caloric needs many times over.
Sure. Yeah. If I swapped all of my goos and gels and scratch and all this stuff for Crunchwrap Supremes.
Various Taco Bell menu items, mostly anchored by Crunchwrap Supremes.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Sure. Oh dear.
When do I have to sign up for this triathlon?
So last year I signed up in the middle of May.
See, that's the kind of last minute thing.
Well, this was the first race that I ran, this one, and it was I signed up in October to gear up for it, and then I started training in maybe March because that's when the weather turned, and 3 months. He's you don't even need that long. 12 to 8 weeks to build. It's just a matter of getting the swimming under control.
Yeah.
Anyways, but then this last time I did it, I just did it to get a rep in, basically.
Yeah.
And
you were already you were already in shape to do it.
I had ran the marathon. I was training for the half Ironman. So and I was I'm just going to run the sprint again. I'm going to do half the distance.
Yeah.
The same distance I did the previous time, half the distance I did that September. And so I was just I got nothing going on for Memorial Day. I'm just going to sign up. So I signed up 2 weeks before and just ran it. And it was fine. And I beat my time by I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes or something like that. It was substantial.
That's a good feeling. So, yeah.
It's a fun race.
Yeah. Well, I'd consider it if I can get the swimming, to a reasonable state. I would definitely consider that.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back to the Camera Gear Podcast. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Lucas.
And we're here today to talk about the gear, software, and techniques we use to shoot photos and video.
Daniel, the problem with the release date of the A7 V is that it was today.
It was indeed today.
And I feel like I haven't had the appropriate amount of time to really absorb all that is A7 V.
I mean, I think that just means that you're going to be doing it live on the show.
Well, what I'm saying is that normally this would be the A7 V super episode. Mm-hmm. But I just don't feel ready to go full super episode. So this is just going to be a regular A7 V episode. And then maybe later there's a super episode.
Could be. Either of those sound better than what's listed in our show notes as the title for today's episode, which, if I'm reading correctly,
Don't read it, Daniel. Don't read it.
It says A7 IV rumors. Do you know when the A7 IV came out?
2021.
Yep, sure did. So is this episode from 5 years ago?
No, Daniel. This was going to be like a, maybe a conversation on how accurate are camera rumors and what do we really know. We were going to go way back. Way back.
Let's just wind the tape back to 2021.
Rehashing camera rumors from 5 years ago.
Man, the world was a very different place in 2021.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Whole lot of changes.
Whole lot of changes.
Mm-hmm. you want to tell people what you're drinking there?
Look, Daniel, listen. Because this isn't a super episode, we have time for another topic.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been thinking a lot how the Canon R6 Mark III is basically camera of the year.
You're just really not going to come back to that opening the drink thing, are you?
And what I was thinking about quite a bit was, well, whenever I buy the Canon R6 Mark III, inevitably.
Which is a sooner or later sort of situation.
Borderline best camera we've probably ever covered on this podcast, including the A7 V hot take. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
Prove me wrong, Daniel.
You're still learning about it.
Prove me wrong. Oh, yeah, exactly. See, we haven't done the super episode. Who knows? Point is, I'm going to have to buy some lenses.
Yeah. That's an important part of owning a camera system, is buying lenses.
I thought what maybe everyone would like to know about, besides the A7 V, is what RF mount lenses that I personally would pick out for myself.
I think that's an interesting thing to look at.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Way more interesting than our other topics. So I made a list here.
Okay.
And I realized that I can't buy all of these lenses, but I made like a short list.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Canon lenses.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I mean, you don't even have every Canon lens on this list. This is just like your top few. And
yeah,
you
sure.
have some that are bolded for some reason. I assume those are like your favorites.
The bolded ones are like, maybe these are the ones that I would probably pick from this list, because I don't have infinite money, right?
Yeah.
I gotta have a budget here.
Sure.
And even still with a budget, I think that this came out to be $6,500 worth of lenses.
Yeah. Well, it's quite a bit, but there are certain telephoto lenses you could buy that would blow that entire budget. So
that's true. So I have the 35mm 1.8, which I believe is an STM lens.
Yeah, it's
macro.
like plasticky. Like it's fine lens, but it's not like
the cheaper primes.
Lens.
Yeah, it's not an L series lens. $470.
Okay.
There's the 45mm f1.2 STM, which we talked about last week, for $470.
Yeah, I think that one's a good choice.
I included the 24-105 f4, which is a nice everyday zoom for $1,300. Good zoom, good price, good f-stop.
Okay.
I have the 28-70 IS STM f2.8, which is...
Why did you choose that over a 24-70?
Price. Because the 28-70 is $1,050, whereas the 24-70 is not even listed.
It's probably like $2,400.
Yeah, I personally just didn't even include it, but 24-70.
Well, I was just curious because, like, we've talked before about, is that, because that difference between 24 and 28 is quite a bit. And I feel like you're kind of like a wide angle kind of guy, so I'm a little surprised you didn't want that.
Yeah, so we're looking at, from Canon's website, $2,300.
Yeah, that's like in a totally different class. But it's probably not STM. It's probably a better lens.
Oh, yeah, it's a way better lens. It's USM, image stabilized. Like, it's great lens. So, it's a little pricey. Right? I'm on a budget here, Daniel. Okay. I'm on a budget.
All right.
So I put the 28-70 in here. I got the 85 1.4 VCM, which is that new voice coil motor hybrid video lens. That one's like $1,600.
Now that's where you're spending your money, because you could have gotten the 85 f2 for like $600.
That's right. Exactly. I included because it. Maybe for the lulls, maybe not.
Because this podcast?
The 24-240 f4 to f6.3.
Yes. Could be a good travel lens.
I got the 70-200 2.8 IS USM, which is the older one, right? Yeah, the older one. Not because they came out with the 24-105 f2.8, and they came out with the 70-200, exact same body style, internal zoom.
But this is the one you got is like the more the photo one that's really short.
And it's like $1,000 cheaper. 2500. The 200 to 800 f6.3 to 9, which is a $2,000 long zoom.
That's your birding lens.
Yeah, exactly. And then I included the 16 to 28 f2.8, which is $1,000
for all your vlogging needs.
Exactly right. That's the whole advantage of getting a full frame, right? Is you can go down to 16 millimeters, get that width. I don't know if I'd want the ultra wide zoom, but I feel like I would need it.
Yeah. So take all these lenses that you've run through and tell me like what your top few would be.
Okay, so I have to get the 35, and I picked the 35 1.8 over the 35 1.4 L series lens because of the size.
Now, why do you think 35 is important for you? Is that because you like the 23 so much on APS-C?
I've been shooting, I just reach for the 23 all the time. And so I want the equivalent of that on full frame, which would be a 35 millimeter. And to me, this would be like the lens that lives on my camera when I'm just carrying the camera around. And this is more of like a travel type lens for me. And so I don't want to deal with the weight and size of like either the VCM version or the L series version.
Sure.
So
makes sense.
35 1.8 macro value. And like it's a decent price. It's got the minor macro capability. I feel like this is a nice all-arounder for a decent price.
Yeah.
So 35, that makes sense. I want the 85 is like, that's the delicious focal length. That's where I'm going to get all this super good bokeh. I want the kind of the best version, not the best version of that because the 1.2 is crazy expensive, but I don't want the F2 cheaper version either. I'd like the better like middle ground 85 mil. And so and
it's a VCM lens, so if you're doing video, it'd be work well for that.
Yeah, exactly. So that one's kind of like the premium prime for like if I want to get the best shot kind of thing, I'd go for the 85 1.4. And I think those are the only primes I picked of that list. I think I could get away with a 35 and an 85 pretty well long term so with my new R6 Mark III. I think I'd want to get maybe like a 24 or 50 or like a 105 or like a 120.
If I was, I mean, we know when I got an L mount, they were just throwing lenses at me. Like it was unprecedented. But I think that if I had to buy all of my lenses, I think I would have gotten a 35 and an 85 to start. Because the 50, I just find myself not using very often because I always think I either want something wider or tighter. It's like 50 is fine. And if it was the only prime I had, I'd be happy with it. But I just generally would rather go with something like on more of one of those extremes.
Yeah, for sure. I loved the 16. 24 is really good. I reached for the 23 more than the 16 on my Fuji. I weirdly don't touch the 56 as much as I thought I would. I always imagine myself using that lens, but then I never go for it.
It's funny too because you really had to fight to get that lens.
Yeah, sure did. I love the 75, and it's like the 56 isn't quite tight enough for whenever I want those kind of shots. And then it's not wide enough for me for a lot of things, and so I go for the 23.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's this weird spot where that's like 85, right? That's the focal length.
Yeah.
And I just, for some reason, just doesn't click with me.
It's funny though because then here you're picking an 85, which is basically the same focal length.
It is. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is just what I would do.
It's because it's just different with that full frame look.
Yeah, dude, it's that full frame look, obviously. Okay, and then for the zooms, I was like, all right, well, I thought about the 24 to 70, and I was like, well, if I did the 16 to 28 and the 28 to 70, that's the same price as buying a 24 to 70. And like, sure, they're not the good focusing lenses. They're not as high quality as L series, but that'll like give me the base range and base coverage. And I think those lenses will be like good enough for the price. Yeah. And to me, like the price compromise of getting two lenses versus one in this specific situation is kind of, I think it's what I'd prefer. I get like I'd get the 16 to 28, the 28 to 70.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that you picked the 28 to 70 instead of the 24 to 105 because when I was buying lenses, I considered getting the 28 to 105, and the 70 to 200. And sometimes I still wonder if I would have been a little happier with that for event stuff.
I do like the reach of the 105. Like I have a 24 to 105 for my Canon.
Yeah, EF mount.
Yeah, EF mount. And that lens is awesome. That's like the workhorse lens. And being that I shoot on APS-C at 2.8 is basically a 4 on full frame. And so it's like, man, shooting on a 24 to 105 on a full frame camera is going to be a similar lighting of what I'm currently used to on my zooms, but with a really nice range. maybe that makes a lot of sense. But I think that just like overall, if I'm switching to full frame, I want all the light. And maybe that's just me being like, in APS-C mode with like, give me as much light as I can get.
You've been dealing with kind of like that limitation for so long that you're like, well, just give me all the light now.
Yeah, just give me that extra stop. And so I think that I tend to want to reach for those 2.8 lenses over the f4. And from like a budget standpoint, I think I'd like to not limit myself on the range because I need 24, right? I need to be able to go that wide. And so it's like, do you get the 24 to 70 or do you get these two lenses and then, or do you buy like a 24 prime? It's a tough choice. And so my choice here was the 16 to 28 and the 20 to 70.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting setup there.
Yep. And then I picked the 7200.
Of course.
Because you got to have 7200.
Yeah. If you do anything with events, like you want that lens.
Yeah.
And you picked the one you picked because of the price mainly?
Price, weight, size. Like if I was traveling with this, I could probably get away with like the 35 and the 70 to 200 and probably be really happy.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, if I was traveling, getting the 24 to 1.5 would have made way more sense as like a travel lens, but whatever.
Yep.
So that's it. Those are my lenses that I'm going to get with my R6 III, and I'm just going to be a happy camper.
So I'm just kind of like vaguely adding these up. It's what, 4,500? It's like 5,500 lenses. I think?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And then the camera is like $3,000. So
it's a big investment.
Big investment. Look a lot of gear I got to cover.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
I mean, basically, like you've got your whole Fuji setup, and what you just described would kind of replace all of that. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Cool.
Got to swap it all out, man. Whenever I switch to Canon.
I can't imagine the drama on this podcast if you switch from Fuji to Canon.
I would talk about those Canon colors all the time.
Yeah.
I'd be braggadocious about my 7K RAW.
And dual, you'd be talking about dual pixel AF.
Oh yeah. So much dual pixel AF. I'm like, well, hey Daniel, is your how's the comfort on that grip over there? You got any numb fingers from shooting a lot? Oh, you do? Huh, weird. I've never had that problem.
Could be worse. You could be a Sony bro.
No, I mean that's a possibility.
That is true. All right, let's talk about the A7 V in a moment. We'll be back in just a moment, but we wanted to let you know that if you'd like to support the show, you can now subscribe to us on Patreon. It helps cover our hosting costs so we can keep the show running, and you might find an occasional behind-the-scenes post on there, like some photos we've taken recently or a mini review of some new gear. If you're interested, you can find us at patreon.com/cameragearpodcast.
So when I listen back to the podcast, I skip that every time.
Nice. I'm sure a lot of other people do too.
But here's the problem, Daniel.
Is it not an even multiple of 30 seconds?
I mean, I can set the skip to whatever I want in my podcast player, but I do have it set at 30 seconds. I'm going to need you to make that like 32 seconds or something, please.
Okay. What is it now? Do you know?
It's not 30 seconds.
Okay.
It's like 20 seconds.
Okay.
And I don't want to have to lower my skip time because then I have to hit skip more for those like real. There's certain podcasts I listen to, and names, but like some of them have gotten really egregious. It's particularly because of the dynamic ad insertion, and it's like 7 minutes of ads.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm like hitting skip. And I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Nope. 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, we're there. Oh, I missed it. Go back one.
That's too many.
Too many. Anyway.
So you're saying we need like 12 more seconds.
I'm just saying like we need to like just like a little bit more juice in there. That way
when more juice.
Just when I hit the 30-second skip, I'm like back into it.
Okay. I'll take that under advisement.
Or like if it was a divisible by like 15, because I think my back's set to 15. Might be set to 20.
Yeah.
Like I could
so
like
we either need to trim,
I could like double skip it and then double back it maybe, or like single back it. I could set some like interval to make it work.
So we need to do like either 5 seconds less or 12 seconds longer.
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. If you just work on that.
What if I just take the 20-second clip we have now and just like extend it, like stretch it out,
just make it slower.
Yeah. That would work, right?
Love it.
Or I can make it faster
and double it.
Yeah.
Genius. Yeah. Great idea, Daniel.
Right. We're gonna workshop on this.
Yeah,
we'll get back.
Really good. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, so Daniel, geez, this took forever.
Yeah.
Something finally did it.
A7 V.
We've been talking about this thing for like ever.
I mean, I think in last week's episode, we were talking about the R6, and we said, well, we'll see what the A7 V looks like. And I think you said that'll probably come out next year.
I thought it was going to be next year.
Yeah.
I just gave up hope.
Here we are this year.
Despite all the rumors saying that it was going to be, and like I'm pretty sure they announced the event by the time we recorded last episode. That's also maybe like a little embarrassing. I mean, it was today. It was today, like freaking 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Central Daylight Time.
Yep.
Standard Time?
Standard Time.
Standard Time. We're on Daylight Time.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho. So it's really exciting, Daniel. This is like...
I mean, we said earlier, you know, first, the A7 IV came out in 2021.
Right. Yep.
So, I mean, that's a long gap between models.
Look, a lot, like, Sony is not great at firmware updates. And they like to just add features and add features and add features.
Two new cameras.
A lot has happened since the A7 IV.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I mean, I maybe should have wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
But just going off the cuff here, memory-wise, like, A7 IV came out. And then not too long, did the A7 III come out after the A7 IV? It came out after the A7 IV.
The A7, you mean the A7S3?
A7S3.
Yeah, I think it did. I'm pretty sure it did come out.
That came out after, so did the FX3.
Mm-hmm.
And the ZVE1 came out after the A7 IV, and that was the one where they introduced a lot of the like,
AI chip.
Yeah, and the reframing features and all that sort of thing. Yeah. So autofocus started getting quite a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if that's the one that they put human detection in. I think that was the A1, perhaps. But that's where they added like where it'll do like the vloggy automatic track you thing and this, that, and the other. They came out with the A7C and the A7C2 and the A7CR.
A lot of cameras. Yeah.
Since the A7 IV.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which of those did it, if it was a different one, but they added those like film profile modes.
Right, yeah.
They came out with the A1 Mark II, and I think also the A1 Mark I question mark?
I don't remember.
I don't remember if that was before. No, that might have been 2019. I can't remember. But that was like pre-capture. They stuck the AI chip in one of those. They definitely stuck the AI chip in the A7R5.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the first one with the AI chip, and they added like the body detection and like human detection. Automatic profile switching was, I think, an A7 and Alpha 2. A2.
I think A7R5 might have also been their first camera with the flip tilt screen.
Right, that was the first one with the flip tilt. A lot of stuff. And like, it's just like feature after feature after feature after feature, and then a lot of the competitors out there are like doing the same stuff.
Yep,
bringing a lot of these features along. And I mean, we've said it before, like the A7 vanilla series, A7 III, A7 IV, is, in my opinion, like the default hybrid camera.
Yeah.
Sony is a huge player in the market. Their autofocus is one of the best. Mm-hmm. And like if you just, what camera should I buy on YouTube? Specifically YouTube.
Especially YouTube.
It's going to be like Sony.
Yeah, yeah.
And man, like the A7 IV with like the features that have come to cameras since. Image quality, the A7 IV still stands up. Mm-hmm. Like if you were looking at should I upgrade from an A7 IV to an A7 V, and you only shoot like one photo at a time, no. Like,
yeah, it may be just fine.
The same megapixels, like the A7 IV could be just perfectly fine for most people that have one, but it's like everything else besides like just taking the one picture is so much better in the A7 V. And like all of these things that have been happening in cameras for the last like 4 years, we finally have in the default Sony camera.
I mean, it had been so long since they updated it that it had definitely gotten to a point where you could not recommend to anybody if they buy that camera because all the competitors were better.
Yeah, especially for the price.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing, right? Like, is that anything in the same price range was going to be way better because it all had newer features.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So,
do you remember what the A7 IV launched at? Was it like $2,500?
Yeah, I think it was $2,500. The A7 III was $19.99, and then it was like $24.99 or something. And now, 4 years on, the A7 V is $28.99.
Yeah,
so kind of similar bump in price.
Yeah, like a little disappointing to see, but not that surprising, I guess. I mean, everything's going up to those prices.
Yeah, really no surprise here. I think that maybe Lumix missed it because they were taking a guess at where these prices were going to go first. And so your S1 2 is like what, $30.99, like $3,100.
Yeah, it's like 32. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it frequently goes on sale for like what these things are selling for.
I think Lumix does more aggressive sales, honestly, than Sony and Canon.
Oh, for
do.
sure.
Yeah.
And then Nikon is just cheaper, right? Well, you can get, I think like $2,200 on sale for a Z6 Mark III. I think $2,500 still as like the medium price. So in traditional fashion, Nikon kind of cheaper cameras.
Right.
They always have been undercutting Canon in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then Canon and Sony in stride. R6 Mark III, 1 week later, A7 V, basically the same price.
Yeah. Yep. They've all got it kind of pegged at that point.
Yeah. So I think it makes sense. I think this is the right price for the market right now with everything that's going on.
It's painful that they're this expensive, but it does make sense.
It absolutely is. But I mean, it's still not, R5 Mark II, A7 R5 money.
Right. Right.
And it's, I mean, I think you're getting a lot for your money here.
Yeah. I mean, if you think the R6 Mark III was a fair value, I think this is also a fair value.
Yeah, I tend to agree. All right, so where should we start? I kind of got a few categories here. We can kind of like chew through a lot of these specs and then maybe, I don't know, maybe just talk about it as we go.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, what have you learned about the body of this thing?
So the main thing that stood out to me is the tilt flip screen. So I mean, it looks just like a normal Sony camera. I don't think there's anything like weird about it, but they did add the tilt flip screen, which like I really like on the S1 II. And felt to me like it was kind of missing from the R6 Mark III.
Mm-hmm.
So I was glad to see them bring that because I thought they might leave it as like a higher end feature, so I was glad they brought it down.
Well, Canon has never done the tilt flip screen.
Yeah.
They've only ever done flip screens.
Yeah.
But I guess, and then the Nikon Z6 III is just tilt or just flip.
I think it's just flip.
Just flip.
Yeah.
And so the Lumix and the Sony are the only ones with the multi-angle tilt flip screen right now. And yeah, bring that screen on this camera.
Yeah.
10 thumbs up.
Love that.
Fantastic. The other big change is that they've got rid of, I think it proved the A7 IV had like a micro USB on it or something.
Yeah.
And
USB-C probably didn't exist in the ancient days when that camera came out.
Clearly. So this one has 2 USB-C ports to make up for it.
It feels a little extra.
I mean, I would just more. I think they should have taken the HDMI off and put a USB-C on there too.
USBCs?
Do 3 USB-C ports.
Well, why does it have 2? What's the reason for that?
I was actually a little surprised when I saw the second USB-C port. I was like, oh no. Still got full-size HDMI.
Yeah.
Like we're good.
Thank goodness.
One is for USB PD, so power delivery, charging. And then the other one is for tethering and data transfer.
I see.
And so one's like a 10G port or something. You can do like 10G Ethernet over it and like do tethering or do like video over IP or whatever you need to do.
And the other one's just like good at power.
And the other one's for power.
Yeah.
Right. So if you plug in power to the second one, it will charge, but it's not PD, I guess. Maybe it will charge, maybe it won't.
Kind of annoying.
But the point is like, fast data and then fast power, but at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, which like is a nice feature, but it makes it disappointing that you can't,
Can't just use either one for either one.
Well, that and also that you can't offload data to an SSD. Because that would be my thought. Like that's the case where I would think that would be really nice is like I want to power my camera externally and then I also want to plug in an SSD and record to the SSD. And I am almost positive you can't do that on this camera.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think that's a feature that Sony has ever added.
The only reason I can think that it's nice to have too is for like the tethered workflow, if like you're worried about the camera running out of power or whatever. But otherwise, it's just kind of annoying, I think. Like, it feels like it takes up real estate on the side.
It would kind of be perfect though, right? Because like on a Lumix camera, you are, if you plug in power to the USB-C, now you can't record externally.
Yeah, you're stuck using a dummy battery. It'd be nice if you could use the USB-C.
Yeah, so that's kind of maybe like a miss here. Would have been super cool.
Yeah.
Kind of a bummer. Otherwise, I think that we got to talk about the screens on it, but the button layout, all that stuff is basically an A7 IV.
Yeah, same with the card slots. It's a UHS-2 SD and then a combo with CF Express Type A and SD.
Right, so they're not doing the dual combo slots. They're only doing one combo slot and one SD card slot,
I think
which
that's
like
fine.
Fine.
I don't have
They're
a problem with that.
still sticking with CF Express A, which is they're the only ones who are doing a CF Express A still.
Classic Sony move.
Yeah, but
That's
like
just in their DNA. Man.
fine, right?
They got to do weird memory formats.
But if you're already in Sony and you're coming to Sony, it's like
Yeah.
you already have those A cards and like whatever, or you're just shooting on SD. So I think that's all fine. I think that the newer body styles, like the A1 II and like even the A7R5, maybe a little more comfortable of grip, maybe a little more upgrade on body.
That was
style.
always my complaint on the A7 III is that I think it's a very uncomfortable camera to hold. I haven't held an A7 IV.
They did improve that with the A7 IV, but then they like kept improving it. Having not held one of these, I can't say, but I think that this is more like an A7 IV than an A7R5.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
But with those upgrades we talked about, new screen,
right,
new USB-C ports, the EVF is 3.96 million dot.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good, but I feel like a lot of cameras in this class are 5.76 million dot. The R6 Mark III, pretty sure the Z6 Mark III, question mark, XT5, like a lot of cameras in this class are.
So it is a little under spec then.
Yeah, a little under spec. That was
honestly a little surprising from Sony of all brands.
Yeah,
I feel like
bit,
they normally push those kinds of things.
Yeah, so kind of maybe a little less, but like fine. It's fine. The back screen they did upgrade to match like their most high-end version, which is the 2.1 million dots, like 720p roughly. So pretty decent back screen, and they added like auto dimming to it.
Oh,
which is something we don't usually see in cameras.
Cool.
So if you whenever you're shooting, you know, sometimes if you just let it time out, the back screen will turn off. This one will just dim. It won't turn it off.
That's cool.
And I think it will do it based upon light too. So nice.
Yeah.
You know, nice quality of life thing.
Sounds good.
No fan.
Kind of makes sense. I mean, they've got the FX cameras for people that want that.
Right. And the Lumix cameras have fans.
That's true. They sure do.
They sure do. Anyway, that's the body, right?
Yeah.
Nothing much to write home about.
You know, since we're talking about the screen, I think this camera still has some weirdness with turning the screen off in certain modes, doesn't it?
It sure does. Yeah. So if you're going to connect an external monitor and you don't do clean feed, you do with menus, it will black out the back screen.
So, like, why?
And
stuff's so weird.
So it won't do both. There's also some other stuff around it that I can't quite remember. It's like if you do 4K over HDMI and log, you can't preview the image or something, or like there's some like weirdness with quirkiness with Sony and like log versus not versus clean feeds that gets goofy undershooting resolutions that they've never addressed, and that's just still here.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Sony going to Sony.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about like the most interesting thing here, which is the sensor.
For sure. Because we were wondering last episode, you know, there was this partially stacked sensor that was used on like the S1 II, Z6 Mark III, and then Canon released their is their backside illuminated or not? Is it not even
I don't even think it's backside illuminated.
Canon released their magical CMOS sensor with a weirdly fast refresh rate. And we were wondering what Sony was going to do for this camera. So what did they do?
Canon can do it because all their pixels are smaller.
Yeah.
They're half the size. These weird like half-sized pixels.
I don't know if it works that way. Because
it's dual pixel AF. There's only so much space on the camera, Daniel.
That's true.
This Sony camera's got like 750 or something AF points. That's like nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like, here's a few spots that don't have pixels. The Canon one is like half the sensor isn't pixels.
That's true.
I mean, it's basically like shooting on Micro Four Thirds.
But you're still going to get one.
Well, sure, yeah. It's like super good. Daniel.
It does still give you that full frame look.
I think it's that full frame look, man. It's not about the number of AF pixels.
All right, let's talk about the Sony.
Okay. I'm surprised that they didn't go up in resolution. This is the same megapixels as the A7 IV at 33 megapixels.
Which, like, yes, it's the same as the A7 IV, but I think, you know, considering the competition for this camera, like in its price range, it's still pretty good.
I think that they couldn't offer the video features that they did at a higher resolution without going full stack.
I think you're probably right.
And because the A7 or the A1 II is 45 megapixels, right? Not 40, 45, 48, something like that.
Sounds right.
So like they couldn't, if that's the next jump up in resolution, I don't think they're going to be able to do a partially stacked, which this is partially stacked.
It is.
It's got a really good readout speed. I don't think that they can make that jump and maintain the price.
It would also, because it would also start kind of awkwardly bumping up against the A7R series a little bit. Like, I mean, I know those are 60 now, but like the A7R4 was like 40, wasn't it?
Well, and that's my curiosity here. Is, with a lot of the sensor rumors and like Sony's advancements and the competition with Canon, blah, 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 blah. Like, there's been so much circulating about when are we going to see really high resolution full frame sensors, and is it going to happen? You have these medium format 102 megapixel sensors that, like, Fuji's using on the GFX or Hasselblad. The support for lenses and the focus speeds and all this that you get out of full frame, because of that's where like the technological advancement focus has been, it's just all so much better than medium format. You do still sacrifice a lot, but if you need that resolution, you got to make the jump. And if Sony's next A7R6 is like 90 megapixels or something,
that's true. That does leave a pretty big gap between this camera and that.
Like that could take an interesting bite out of what medium format's doing.
It's true.
Real interesting. And that's my question here is like, if Sony's not pushing that mid-range up to 40, does that mean that we're still going to be in the 60s for their high resolution still? Or is it like a whole nother generation leap? Like we have to wait for those stack sensors to get even cheaper. And then maybe like the A7 VI is fully stacked. And then the A7R6 is 85 megapixels or something.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah.
So I think that like, to me, this 33 position is telling in that the technology is not getting cheap as fast as I personally thought it would. I mean, stack sensors came out 3, 4, 5 years ago, something like that. 3 years ago.
It's surprising that more cameras aren't using stack sensors.
Yeah, like we've ended up with this compromised, partially stacked. Like that's because of cost reasons.
Yeah.
So I think we're just not quite getting there as fast as we thought we would. So this weird in between spot. Anyways, 33 megapixels, partially stacked. It is not the sensor that's in the Nikon or in the Lumix. And it's brand new one that they held aside just for this.
Unsurprising.
I like this resolution spot. I like this like 7K sweet spot.
I agree.
It's where it's like it's better than the 24. It's not quite super high resolution, but if you're trying to like compromise in the middle and you're getting these like 15 millisecond readout speeds, you can do like your oversampled 4K video, and you can get like higher burst rates and all this stuff and better rolling shutter.
Because that's the thing, they kept the read speed really good, even at the higher megapixel.
Yeah, they did. It's good. The read speed on this is like, I don't have hard numbers. I think Gerald in his video test got it at like 14.1 milliseconds. Petapixel said it was 10 milliseconds. Sony was saying that it's 4 times faster than the A7 IV, which would put it at like 6 to 9 milliseconds. Like, I don't know. It looks like a 10 to 15. Like if you look at the jelly roll and all that stuff,
look at the jelly roll.
Yeah, look at that jelly roll.
What's good is that Sony has always struggled with rolling shutter, and it's good to see that they're finally taking that more seriously.
In my opinion, that was one of the biggest downsides of the A7 IV for video was how bad the rolling shutter was.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. You were sacrificing a lot to get to 33 megapixels. The A7 IV was, in my opinion, more photo than video, whereas the A7 V now feels like it's returned back to a true 50-50.
Maybe. in some ways. I don't know. There's some weird video stuff.
Man, Daniel's down on that video spec.
But the read speed is good. I mean, the Z6 and the S1 Mark II are kind of about the same. Canon's about the same. Like it's very competitive.
Right. It's very competitive. It is in stride with the R6 Mark III. So all things that it needed to be.
Yeah.
It is not specifically advertised, but it is a dual native ISO at 800 and 8000, or at least you're seeing that.
I mean, almost every camera now feels like has a dual.
It has like a second ISO drop. So 8000 is the second native. I think that's up from 6400 on the A7 IV ? And yeah, they did a new processor in this one. I think is the other thing, because the processor and sensor go hand in hand. Previously, like we had these AI chips. This one is the new Bion Z XR2 processor.
Obviously. I've been following those so closely.
Yeah, sure have. Clock speeds and all that jazz. The important thing about this is that it's a single chip. They are not doing the secondary like sub AI processor thing. It's all baked into one. And so that's going to be like closer distance, between just smaller package on the chip, which
Probably
means
better for heat,
less heat, better for battery, all those sorts of things.
You want to go ahead and mention the battery? I think this kind of makes sense.
Yeah, sure. So it's the exact same battery that's in the A7 IV. But
and I think that's important to note, the exact same battery.
Yeah, it's the NPFZ 100.
Yeah.
It's the exact same battery.
So it's not like a lot of these other cameras recently where there's been like the battery that's the same size, but it's like the special new one.
Right.
It's like this is like actually the same battery.
It's the same battery, but because of the advancements in the chip, it's 30% better on battery life.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
I think that it's like SEPA rated as like 650 or 700 shots or something stupid.
Yeah,
which is like 100, 200 more than the R6 Mark III.
Yeah. It's impressive too because those Sony batteries are really small.
Yeah.
Like they're physically smaller than a lot of the other brands' batteries. So,
yeah, they did a lot of good work.
It's an advantage of like, it's an example of how Sony's electronics prowess like really like does play into it a little bit.
Definitely, they did a good job here. So pretty impressive.
Yeah.
R6 Mark III SEPA rated battery life is 620 shots when using the LCD, and 390 shots when using the EVF.
Wow, that's a big change.
A7 V SEPA rated shots 630 when using the EVF and 750 when using the LCD.
Wow. I mean, that's
So if you're
substantially more.
Yeah, so if you're going to shoot with the back screen, I mean, if you're going to shoot with the EVF, like, you're getting double.
Yeah.
If you're going to shoot with the back screen, you're getting like 100 plus more shots. So it's good. There was a lot of battery rundown overheating tests with this. And depending upon like what you're shooting with, I was like one guy who said, he's like, yeah, I shot for 2 hours of video on one card and 2 hours of video on another card before the battery ran out.
Wow.
So I just shot 4 hours of 4K 30 video.
It's very impressive.
It's very good. It's very good. So I like impressive battery. The processor seems to be doing exactly what they wanted to do, which is bring all the AI features in and save battery.
Yeah.
So 2 thumbs up there. Really good.
2 thumbs up, but only one chip.
Yes. And then the last thing here on the sensor is that one thing we saw on the Nikon that it took a hit in dynamic range.
Yeah.
With the partially stacked sensor.
Yeah, like basically the Z6 Mark III had worse dynamic range than the Z6 Mark II.
Right. Even in mechanical shutter. It was just bad. It was just worse. Yeah. And like minorly, but it is. And like with all of these, you shoot an electronic shutter, you get worse dynamic range compared to mechanical. Same thing here is the difference between electronic and mechanical. But it seems like what Sony is doing on this camera is maybe similar-ish to what Lumix is doing on the S1 II, which is taking advantage of that dual native ISO and like pulling multiple reads off that sensor to get the full dynamic range of the image.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like Nikon had some sort of like first mover disadvantage here because I remember when the Z6 Mark III came out, we kind of thought maybe this is the downside of partially stacked sensors is that they have worse DR, and it kind of feels like both Lumix and Sony like saw that and learned from that and did it better. Yeah,
they figured out some software pipeline workaround.
Yeah.
And the A7 V as a result has the same dynamic range capabilities as the A7 IV.
Yeah.
It did not take a step back.
Which is good.
And then depending upon how you're shooting, so the AI chip thing is doing things like AI white balance and AI noise reduction.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Like it's not just for like reframe and like that stuff. Like AI white balance is an interesting concept.
Right. Yeah. But it's making a difference. If you compare, like if you boost the shadows on an A7 IV image versus an A7 V image, you are going to get cleaner shadows out of the A7 V because of what they're doing with the stack sensor and the dual native ISO and the AI chip.
That's cool.
So real good advantages in photo that we're seeing coming out of this like sensor processor package. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Good job, Sony.
I mean, it's like exactly what we wanted to see out of Sony, right?
Yeah.
This 33 megapixel sensor would have been cool in some other cameras, but they got to give the worst sensors to the Lumix and Nikon.
I assume maybe the sensor will eventually be available for them, but yeah. Not yet.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that sensor that's in the A7 IV show up in. No, it was A7 III. That sensor showed up in like everything.
That's
everything. It's still showing up in things. I think that's the sensor that's in the Z5 Mark II.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe now we're going to start seeing the A7 IV sensor and everything.
Good point.
Bummer.
Have to wait another 5 years for this one.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's the sensor. I guess we could probably talk about video.
Okay.
Daniel, you've been saying that, like, whenever you were texting me about this earlier, you're like, I don't know, Lucas, it's weird.
It's weird.
And then whenever we mentioned the video here for a second, you're like, video's a little weird.
Yeah. Do you know what I think is weird?
This is what I want to get into right now. Okay. What's weird about this camera, Daniel?
What's weird about this camera is it has a 33 megapixel sensor and there's no way to shoot over 4K.
Okay, I had the exact same point, and I'm like, why? Why? I get, like, there's the whole conversation about open gate, and I think, like, everyone's been talking about that as it relates to this camera, and most of the conversation has been, like, a Sony apologist style. I want to get into all of that, but even with no open gate, like, fine, no open gate, whatever. Why not give a pixel-to-pixel mode?
Yeah, I mean, it's just strange, and I care less about the open gate and more about the idea that there's no way for me, because I think that we're at the point now, most people are at the point where your delivery is in 4K.
Sure.
And I like having some extra pixels if I want to crop in a little bit without losing quality. And I don't know, it feels like every other camera now is offering these higher resolution modes, and it was a little surprising that Sony left that out.
Every other camera is offering these high resolution modes, and it's not like it would take, it's doing an oversample down to 4K is more processing power than it would take to just deliver a pixel to pixel image.
Yeah. Makes you wonder.
So, like, just give me the pixel to pixel image, because I'm going to pick that every time. I would rather take, like, a 5.7K or a 6K or whatever image, even if it's just 16:9. I would rather shoot pixel for pixel and do the down resing in post and the noise reduction in post myself.
Yep.
Because I'm going to be able to get a better image in post from those pixels than I'm probably going to be able to get in camera. At least I'm going to have more control. Maybe I won't get a better image in post, but I'm going to have more control of it. I'm going to be able to, like, crop from a smaller region if I need to, and all this sort of thing.
It's nice having the option at the very least.
This thing can shoot oversampled 4K up to 60 frames per second. Like, come on, you don't have to do open gate.
Yeah,
but, like,
just take those same pixels, just put them in a file. Done.
They don't even have DCI 4K in this. It's just UHD.
That is a little surprising.
There's no true, like, 4K. Maybe this is something that they bring out with, like, the FX2 Mark II. Or maybe it's
a pro feature.
Maybe it's like if it's an FX4 thing or an FX3 Mark II thing. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, huge miss in my opinion.
Isn't there something weird about the oversampled 4K 60?
Okay, yeah. So there is a mode on this, which is everyone's mentioned at this point, and everyone's probably tired of hearing about it. But it's this, like, what do they call this stupid thing? I think I wrote it down, but it's whatever, I can't remember. There's a certain mode in this camera where by default 4K 60 has like a 1.1 or 1.2 crop. And if you want to shoot in 4K 60, you have to sacrifice in-camera noise reduction. They can't do 4K 60 with noise reduction at full frame.
It's so interesting that they give you that option.
That's classic Sony, right?
It is such a Sony thing to do. I'm actually okay with this one as a trade-off, because I know for us, like, we normally turn the in-camera noise reduction, like, off, for video.
All the way down.
And so I'm like, cool. like, that's fine. Just don't do that and give me the better thing.
Honestly, when I saw the same thing when I heard about, like, people were talking about the feature, I was like, wait a second. I flipped the switch to make the image better and it makes it full frame? Why not just turn on good mode the whole time?
No kidding.
You're telling me if I turn on this switch, it's just going to make it better in every way?
What's the downside? It is kind of cool if they were able to make that trade-off, because it's so common that we see you have to crop in for certain modes. And I assume most of the time it's a sensor read speed issue. And in this case, it has to be just like a processor limitation.
4K angle view priority is what it's called, which is also classic Sony.
Yeah, that's confusing. You're looking that up in the manual every time to see what it means.
I swear, man, this is the thing. Every time I pick up like an A7 III and I'm like, oh, I need to change a setting, it's like learning a new language. Because I know now steady shot means IBIS, But boy, like, sure would be nice if we just call the thing what the thing was instead of everything being a brand name.
Yeah, the steady shot thing is another really annoying one. Like when
I
don't use Sony cameras enough to remember that when I go through the menus. It's like, oh yeah.
This has steady shot, framing stabilizer, and dynamic active stabilization.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. I don't know what any of those things are. It's increasingly improved stabilization at increasing crops. Which one's better?
Yep.
I don't know. Well, gotta go look it up.
Yep.
I need like a cheat sheet or something.
It would really help me actually if they would just put like really colorful stickers on the side of the camera with all those brand names.
That perfect. Yeah. Or just like call the thing what the thing is.
Yeah.
Branding, man. Freaking branding. Anyway, so yeah, the lack of full sensor readout, like pixel for pixel mode, weird.
Yeah. And then what's the, a lot of cameras now have 4K 120. What's the deal with that?
4K 120 is a 1.5 crop. I think that
APS-C.
So like whenever the R6 Mark II came out, it was pretty much the only camera that was doing 4K 60 uncropped. And this is kind of the same situation. You can get 4K 120 uncropped with sound on the R6 Mark III. And like the read speed on that is 15 milliseconds. It's not like it's any faster than this camera. We are not getting, maybe like Canon's just better processing. I don't know. Maybe it's because the pixels are smaller. It's basically a micro four thirds camera.
Pixels.
Just little tiny half-size pixels.
I feel like this is all feeling like they're processor constrained. Because like the rolling shutter is good, but then you keep seeing these things where like they,
maybe Canon's just better at chips.
And all that. Oh, hot take.
Maybe, I don't know, man.
Better at chips.
They got that what is it, Bionic X processor or whatever. Is that what it's called?
Like, isn't there like the Digic
It
X?
is the Digic X. That's right. Good job, Daniel.
How about that?
It's the Digic X.
This is the camera
the
your
Sony
podcast.
one. Yes, it sure is. Is the Bionz XR2.
Yes. Man, we should go. What if we went deep on those processors?
I don't know how. If I could find like benchmarks of like
oh my gosh,
multi-core read speed, like if I get a Geekbench for like the multi-core on a Bionz XR2 versus like a Digic X.
Yes.
100%. We would be reading those scores right now.
That would be peak Camera Gear podcast content.
I can't. It's just not out there. Like if I've tried. I've seriously tried. I'm like, what? Give me everything that I can find about the X5 processor or whatever. Nope. It's just people don't care enough.
It really is. It feels like these things. So here's what I think is funny about it. They always want to put it in the specs. Like when these cameras are released, they'll tell you like this is the Bionz XR2 processor, but yeah, you can't find specs on that thing anywhere, and it feels like they want it to be their secret sauce, and like they don't want to put that information out there. It's nothing like say like an Apple event where they're showing you like here's the new M5 and here's like some fake diagram of what it looks like inside and like here's all the things we did. They don't do anything like that. But then they still want to give you the brand name of it. It just like that's what's weird to me that they highlight it at all.
It's brand names all the way down, man.
Yeah,
it's how you can tell them apart. Whenever I ask Google for a Bionz XR2 processor benchmark, first I searched Geekbench and it was like, listen, Lucas, this is an imaging processor, not like a general purpose CPU. That's not how these things work. You have to test it with real world performance. So this AI overview tells me that real-time recognition AF is 30% faster on a Bionz ZXR2. Faster than what? A Bionz ZXR1?
I guess so.
Like how do you compare this?
Yeah, you can't because to a
Digic X
because there's so much else in the process, sensors and algorithms, and it's just silly.
You can only compare camera to camera. It's like there's like no way to really tell these things. Like is the X speed better? I don't know. Yeah. Is it? Anyway.
No one knows.
Clearly not, because the A7 V can't shoot 4K 120 uncropped.
Yeah, it feels it's conspicuous that's missing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's strange. Mm-hmm. I think that like maybe the compression so Sony in past has had smaller data rates for a lot of their files. Like I always think about the A7 III when I think about this, where it's like,
well, that's kind of a brutal comparison.
Where it's like if you want to shoot 4K, it's 100 megabits per second.
Yeah, which
now,
is not high enough.
It's not the thing anymore, right? Like you can shoot in like HEVC 4K 24 all eye on this camera, and it's going to be like 540 or 670 megabits per second. Like you're gonna get beefy data rates if you want them. But it does seem like those data rate numbers on a lot of Sony cameras for the equivalent like Canon camera have been like marginally lower. Like they're doing something different with their like AVC HD process. I mean, it used to be that whenever you recorded in Sony's, they just went to AVC HD and they just didn't even stick it in an MP4 container.
I remember that.
So, and like I know like there's the XOCN stuff. This doesn't even have XOCN, Daniel. Doesn't even have it. Doesn't shoot raw, nothing. Anyways, maybe they have different compression algorithms that are more efficient and therefore take more energy.
Could be. That's
I don't
a good
know.
point.
There's no way to know.
Yeah. No way to know.
Or is there? We're going to find out. Write in if you know. Point is, you can only shoot UHD on this camera. It's got all the intras. It can shoot 422 10-bit. It's got all the logs. Like it's good. It's good if you want to shoot in a 16:9 4K mode.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of what the video specs to me come down to is like, I think it's perfectly good for video, but it just the resolution and frame rate limitations are a little strange to me.
I always like, it's frustrating that that's kind of become what I think of Sony. And maybe other people just don't think of Sony that way. They think of them as like the hybrid video camera. But if you go to Nikon, Lumix, Canon, Fuji, any of these other manufacturers, they're competing on the extra video features beyond just a good 4K image. Like it's table stakes, being able to deliver 16:9 oversampled 4K and 422 10-bit at an all-eye codec with good color reproduction. Table stakes.
Yeah.
And if you buy a S1R Mark II, a Z6 Mark II, a Z5 Mark II, a R6 Mark III, any of these cameras are going to be able to do that, and you're going to be real happy with it. And I like the A7 V like improves on that formula over the previous camera, in that the way less rolling shutter, better IBIS, better noise performance, decent dynamic range. Like it's all good, but they aren't delivering any of the stuff like wider pixels, RAW support, open gate. Like there's just lack of modes. I mean, you go on a Lumix camera, you start scrolling through all the different like resolution formats, and it's like, yeah, I can shoot in, do I have 2.35 to 1, or I can shoot, I can do anamorphic D-squeeze, or I can like shoot in 4:3 or 3:2, and like you have options.
Yeah.
And the Sony is just vanilla.
Yeah.
And I never thought that I would have to say that about Sony.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird to think of Sony as like not providing you enough options, but that's kind of how it's feeling in this case.
Yeah. You don't think that Sony is going to be the one that's like, oh yeah, you just shooting, like just flip it over to video and shoot and it's good. But that's where we are. Like the autofocus is so good in this camera. You don't have to change anything. It'll do the automatic switch over for the autofocus stuff. So like you don't even have to set it in bird mode or dog mode or whatever.
Right.
It'll just do automatic subject detection. The autofocus is like, you don't have to tweak it. You don't have to like fine tune it like a Fuji camera. And like the video is just going to be good. So you just flip it on video mode and shoot and it's fine. And that's it.
Yeah. That's all you get.
Yep.
Just fine.
I know. I guess a few things maybe to talk a little bit more about the video. We're looking at a dynamic range of like 14 stops, which is pretty much what we'd expect.
Yeah, it's like middle of the road.
Yeah, we haven't seen anyone do that, like a higher bit readout thing. Fuji made such a huge deal about that 14-bit readout for their video on the XH2S.
And it was legitimately an improvement. It was good.
It gives that camera 14 stops of dynamic range in an APS-C camera, where normally you would expect it to be like 12 and a half stops of dynamic range.
Yep.
And so like they're competing with full frame in an APS-C body.
But you don't see full frame doing it.
And I'm just like waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like when are we going to get like 14-bit readout or something on like a stacked full frame camera in video rather than everything being 12-bit and see that boost in dynamic range? And like it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like they don't feel like that's worth the trade-offs of slower readout and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, it may not be. I don't know. I mean, Lumix is doing it in a different way with their DR boost, right? So they're taking advantage of the dual native ISO rather than pushing the bit depth up. So tit for tat kind of thing. So anyway, you're getting all, like we mentioned earlier, but like you're getting all the new features in this camera. You're getting like the importable LUTs. You can do the thing from the FX2 where you can like click the shutter button while you're shooting a video, but it doesn't like take a picture and drop a frame. It just marks all those spots, and then whenever it processes the video, it does all the frames.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. It does like it'll auto detect whenever you rotate the camera. So if you want to shoot vertical, you just turn it vertical.
Yeah,
cool. The thermal performance is like really good. They made some claims about like how it performs at 40 degrees Celsius and all this stuff. But
and it seems like in the testing, it was that also kind of like
out,
right?
In like an A/B test, this camera does not overheat where the R6 Mark III overheats.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So it's just going to be better in heat performance. And yeah, that's like overall, that's the video.
Yeah,
like it's just good.
Just good.
No open gate.
Still feels like a loss, but
yeah, we'll talk about that, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe. Who knows?
We're
probably done, right?
I guess it's a photo camera too.
Yeah, man. It's a photo camera too. It's like half a photo camera.
Yep. I would say it's more than half a photo camera, honestly.
I think that the photo stuff on this is pretty good. Like they finally brought an HDR mode, which like I don't think the A7 IV had.
Oh,
there is a feature that was in like the 812 or something where you could shoot like a bunch of photos and then stick it in the Sony software where it would take like a bunch of high ISO photos up to 32 or something and then make a noise reduced image out of like the stacked stuff. And
that's
just
like
cool. Just an extra software on the computer. You load up a bunch of photos and it'll do like a neat. You kind of like I've done this with star photography where it's like I did like in Photoshop where shoot 20 photos or something and then layer them so that where this one's showing noise, the other one isn't showing noise,
right,
and so you can kind of like swap the pixels around.
That's kind of cool.
There's just like a Sony software that does that, and this one now supports it. So super cool. Just kind of like adding all of those little things. It got the film profiles, so you have film simulations or whatever.
Yeah, everyone's doing that now.
Yeah, like LUT support. They made the buffer better. They added the pre-shot thing.
Yeah, I was glad to see the pre-shot thing. I think it's a good photo feature.
Yeah, I think every camera needs to have pre-shot. I always forget that not all cameras have that.
Yeah.
Because it's like a feature that I've just had for a while. And then that's like, oh, this camera had a pre-shot. I'm like, you didn't have that before? This one's particularly good. So we talked about the R6 Mark III's pre-shot feature. I forget what that one, it could shoot like 40 frames per second or something like that in electronic shutter. If you shoot in full 40 FPS, electronic shutter raw on the R6 III, it drops the bit depth down to 12 bits for your photos.
Interesting.
Which like, fine, but not great. For the Sony, you can shoot, it's 30 frames per second, so it's less, but you are getting 14-bit in lossless raw.
That is pretty good.
And the buffer is like 50 shots or something.
So a little over a second?
Yeah, it's like a little over a second. Decent, right?
Yeah.
Blackout free, full subject tracking, all that stuff.
I mean, that's the impressive part. Like you're still getting full autofocus and all that.
Yep. And what I like about this is a Sony feature that I don't think we've seen on other cameras, where they'll give you like the burst thing, where if you can be shooting in like low burst or whatever, like even mechanical shutter, like you're shooting in mechanical shutter at 5 frames per second or 10 frames per second or something, and you can map a button on like your lens to go like full 30 frames per second.
Oh,
so if you're like not really needing all those frames, but then like all of a sudden you do, you can like press a button and go like, and this is a feature from the A9 III where it could shoot 120 frames per second, but you don't need that all the time. And so you map a button to it so that you're shooting at like 5 frames per second until you really need it, tie that to pre-capture.
That's cool.
And then like, great, right?
Yeah.
So you're not like in this mode all the time, but you have it at the touch of a finger or whatever. So cool feature, nice to be able to set this camera up in a way that like you can take advantage of those 30 frames per second, but you don't have to deal with all those RAWs. It's good.
Yeah. I mean, photo-wise, this seems really good. I mean, we talked about how it has the flip tilt screen. I think tilt is better for photos, so that's an improvement. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I guess,
we talked about the dynamic range stuff. It's basically on par with the A7 IV. So we're going to a stacked chip, but we're not losing dynamic range like we did on the Nikons. So that's good. We talked about the burst mode stuff. It's a full mechanical shutter. None of this like electronic first curtain shutter garbage. It's full mechanical shutter. and like it's good. The noise performance is, I guess, it's on par with the last one. I think that what we're seeing in a lot of these sample footage is that it's better in the highlights than it is in the shadows comparatively to the A7 IV. So you kind of like adjust your exposure accordingly. But otherwise, like, great. It's faster, less like warping for fast motion because the rolling shutter, mechanical shutter is great. 33 megapixels is great. Like, this is a super compelling photo camera.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, that's why, like I was saying, to me, it feels more photo than video, because I feel like, I mean, not that the video specs are bad, but I feel like compared to some of the competition, it falls a little short on video. Whereas on the photo side, I feel like it's very competitive with the other cameras in its range.
I think if you were photo only and you were coming to like a mid-level camera, maybe you're not highly invested, and you're like, do I pick the A7 V or the R6 Mark III? I think it'd be really difficult to pick one over the other for photo.
Yeah.
I think that, both being 33 megapixels, both having a lot of really good features, really good autofocus, they're in stride with each other.
I agree.
And to me, it's like, maybe you like the EVF and the ergonomics of the Canon more. Maybe you like the compact size, the additional lens options, and the tilty screen of the Sony more. It's like you're now picking based upon these auxiliary features from like a dynamic range, image quality, autofocus, megapixel standpoint. It's an impossible decision between the A7 V and the R6 III.
Yeah, they're very close.
I think the Sony has maybe like twice as many lens options as the Canon. So,
well, that's probably true, because Canon, they're almost all first party, whereas Sony is not, and E-mount is just huge.
And it's been around a long time.
But if you're legitimately choosing between these systems, then maybe you don't have a bunch of lenses. And how many lenses do you need? I don't know. I mean, we talked at the beginning of this episode that there's a pretty good set of Canon options. So
I think most people only need 3 lenses. I need 6 lenses.
Yes, you do.
Yep. I know that, like, we talk about, like, who would pick this and whatever. And like, really, for most of this stuff, like, you've already picked your system and you're in the system and you have your lenses and you're kind of upgrading within that. It's like, some people are going to buy Sony things, Lumix people are going to buy Lumix things. But there are some of us out there, Daniel, who are like camera enthusiasts.
That's true.
That are entertaining the concept of switching systems.
So now you have to decide, are you going to be a Canon bro or a Sony bro?
Daniel, I am and always a Fuji bro. I'm not even Fuji bros. I'm just like in the Fuji cult.
Yep.
So I'm going to have my Fuji camera. Maybe it's a GFX 100 RF. Let's talk about that camera for a while, Daniel. It's 102 megapixels. It's so small, but so big at the same time.
Small.
It's
There's
so big.
Nothing small about the GFX 100.
I think the
RF.
GFX 100 RF is bigger than an A7R5. It's probably heavier too.
What about an A7 V?
If I switched to Sony, I could get an A7 CR
It's true.
to go with my A7 V, and I would be one happy camper.
Would you?
No, because you can't shoot full width on the sensor, Daniel. Well, you can shoot full width, but you can't shoot full resolution. Why is that a limitation?
I don't know. And so here's a couple of questions. Do you think that the RAW is because you can't shoot RAW on this camera?
No, you cannot shoot RAW on this camera.
Do you think that is a gap?
I think for the people who are going to buy this camera, it's not a gap. I like that it's a feature that we're seeing in cameras, the ability to shoot RAW. And like, you can shoot RAW over a Ninja on this thing, right? You just can't shoot RAW internal.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's great. I would like to experiment with shooting RAW, but I think that for most people, RAW is too data intensive. It's
and workflow intensive.
And workflow intensive. If this was an FX camera, then the next FX camera needs to have RAW internal.
Yeah. Agreed.
Just that, like, it has to have it. That's a pro video feature. Being able to modify video footage in post with RAW workflows, I think is table stakes now for something that is more than just a hybrid camera. But for something that's hybrid photo video, I think that RAW is a nice to have, but not really.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. To me, the huge miss here is just not having that full sensor readout. And not even open gate. It's just that whole full sensor width thing. That's the miss. I think RAW is a selling point that they didn't necessarily need.
Yeah.
What I would have liked to see is something like XOCN.
Yeah, that would have been a good Sony move of like pushing the technology forward. Like, here's something we can do that other people aren't doing. That would have been good.
Like XOCN is a good codec. It's not really full RAW, but it's just like less demosaic, different part of the pipeline, and more flexible footage option.
Yeah.
And I would love to see them start pushing that down into the Alpha series. It's something we've only really seen them in like the Burano and their Venice type cameras, and it's not even in the FX. Like, I guess we're still waiting on an FX6 update.
Yeah,
right? We're waiting on that
maybe
all
it'll come to
freaking
that.
year.
Maybe it'll come to that.
Maybe it'll come to that.
It's not on the FX3. It's not on the FX2. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I was putting together a list of like, what does Sony need to do for this camera, and XOCN was on that list. And like, maybe most people don't need it. I kind of wish that this had it as like their main hybrid video camera, but fine. What do you think, Daniel?
I feel like the EVF is a little bit of a miss. Like, I don't know how much that is going to make a difference in the usability, but it's lower spec than the comparable cameras, and I feel like that's one of those just like daily usability things especially for photo, that I was surprised they kind of cheaped out on, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, it seems like a really good camera. I think it was probably the camera they needed to release to get back into the running. But I'm maybe a little surprised in the sense that we've said on this show that we think that a lot of times like the A7 III, A7 IV, etc., kind of like set the standard for what the other companies were going to follow. And I think the A7 III in particular, like when it came out, it kind of blew everybody away, and then it felt like all the other manufacturers kind of had to catch up to it.
Right, except for Fuji.
And I think we were curious to see with this one, it was kind of like, well, Sony's going to set the new standard. And, and I think we probably have used this exact phrase where we've said, Sony is going to release the camera, and then that will tell us what cameras for like the next 2 years look like.
Right. We're waiting on Sony to set the stage.
Yeah. And what it feels to me like is they're just like late to the party. Like that, like they're arriving at the party that the Z6 Mark III, R6 Mark III, and S1 Mark II are already in. And, sure, they offer some things that some of those cameras don't. They have more megapixels than the Nikon and the Lumix, etc. But it doesn't blow me away compared to any of those. And it's lacking some things that those have. So it kind of feels like they were a little behind on this, and they're just now kind of catching up.
All this stuff is obviously developed, in tandem. Each of these companies are working on their own things, and I feel like Sony's sensor division probably has some inside track on what like Nikon and Lumix are doing or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they do supply the sensors.
But also, like, is Sony cameras and Sony sensors independent within the organization? They probably are to some extent. Even still, it's like what feature set is going to be like the next big thing, and it feels like Sony has just doubled down on everything that makes Sony good, and have just kind of ignored the other stuff that the market's doing. And maybe they feel like they don't have to. They feel like that they're still the standard, and they don't need to necessarily compete on all these other things. They know that their users don't really want like open gate recording or RAW, or let me look at my list here: false color, waveform, shutter angle, 30p and H.265. That's my list.
Yeah. Which like are gaps, but and those things I think could be fair to say that your average buyer of this camera doesn't care about those. But it also just feels like it's not a great feeling to spend $2,900 on a camera and you can't shoot anything over 4K.
It is $2,900, and you can't shoot anything over 4K. Yeah. You can on an S1R Mark II.
That's true.
And you can shoot like 42 megapixels.
That's true.
Pretty good camera. I don't know. So, I mean, we've seen, it's all been this year, right? I don't even remember. Z6 III, S1 II.
The S1 II definitely has. That was like around May timeframe.
I don't think the Z6 III was out, or else it would have probably been camera of the year last year, JK.
Yeah.
Well, this is it, right? These are you have the high-end stuff that not everyone's buying. Those are your pro cameras.
Like an R5 Mark II.
Yeah, and then you have like your middle-range stuff that's cutting features. But for like this mid-range prosumer enthusiast, $2,000 to $3,000 camera, this is the meat of the market, right? We have now, like this year, all basically new from Canon, Panasonic, Sony, and Nikon.
Yeah.
Fuji's just waiting.
Yeah.
Fuji's coming, man. But like,
it's
like
been a
those are the
long
big
time,
four.
I feel like, since all of these brands released like a new main camera in the same year.
For sure. So like, but like we're here, right? What do you think? If you had to force rank these cameras,
man, this is sounding a lot like a camera of the year kind of discussion. But if we're talking specifically about this market segment, I mean, it depends on whether you're shooting photo or video, right? But I feel like I'll just give you my four, like in order, for let's say for a hybrid use case. I'm kind of thinking I would say R6 Mark III, S1 Mark II, Z6 Mark III, A7 V.
Wow, you're putting an A7 V at the very bottom.
So the reason, I think the R6 III offers a little more. I think the S1 II offers way more on the video side. And then the Z6 III is just so much cheaper that to me, that gives it a better value than the A7 V.
Sure.
I think it's a close race between all four of these. But
I think that
where I'm at.
when I rank these, I give the photo side maybe a little more credit. And so I'm inclined to put the new 33 megapixel sensor cameras first.
Sure.
I think I still rank the R6 III at the top of this list as far as just the best all-arounder. That camera's just so sweet, Daniel.
It's pretty good.
I think I have a hard time deciding between the S1 II and the A7 V.
And honestly, I think it does come down to photo versus video.
It really, really does. So, man, I guess I go S1 II, A7 V, Z6 III.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Even though the S1 II has the lower 24 megapixel.
I think that if you're anything more video heavy than 50-50, boy, it's hard not to pick the Lumix. But like, if you need autofocus and you're 50-50 or more photo, the A7 V is the better choice.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
But that's like, honestly, all these cameras are like super great, right?
Yeah.
You could put them in any order and
you're really splitting hairs on this.
Absolutely splitting hairs. So,
and most people are not going to make choice in a vacuum like that, right? Because if you look at ecosystem, I think that conversation changes it.
Right, the lens ecosystem is a big part of it. Like the L mount is like there's so many L mount lenses.
Lens ecosystem, and also like within the brand, like, do you want a second camera? Like, what would that be? Like, you have very different choices in each of these.
And we've talked about like upgrade path, right? You get an S1 II, that's the best camera. It's for Lumix, it's nice in that get an S1 II and an S1R2, they're like the same price, they're the same body, but one's resolution, one's speed, and you have this really cool combo of cameras with those hand in hand.
But you've topped out on the capability.
Yeah, but you've topped out. That's it. Like you have that's all you're gonna get. We're like with Sony, I want a compact travel camera, and then I want my good hybrid. Like get an A7 CR, or like you can get an A7R5, which is still a fantastic camera. I assume that means next year we're gonna get an A7 R6 though. Like the A7 V is great. There's some like cheaper options. There's the ZV series. Sony has a nice, interesting lineup.
They do.
I mean, if you're pairing this off with a photo camera, like maybe this makes sense with an A7 IV, and then you get an A7 V to go with it. I don't know.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the secondary camera is an interesting concept here. I think that maybe Nikon and Canon have the most clear lineup as far as like what's above it.
For sure.
I think that whenever it comes down to like picking between these systems, like lens ecosystem, obviously you're gonna be able to get good lenses across the board, but like price, used, what do you already have is a big thing. But like it all depends on like what your standout feature is. Like how bad do you need good autofocus? How bad do you want a tilty flippy screen versus like a flip only versus tilt only? Does the EVF matter? Like Nikon over here is talking about how bright their stinking EVFs are. They'll burn your retinas out.
4,000 nits.
Right? So like maybe you need long lenses and a good EVF. Yep. Like the Nikon's your choice. Maybe you need just like super good autofocus that you don't want to fiddle with. Maybe go with the Sony.
Yep.
Or maybe go with the Canon because it's got all those dual pixels. Video is still probably the S1 II, even though the Canon's
right there.
Right there. It's right there. And then like the Sony doesn't have open gate. It doesn't have like all the pixels, right? I wouldn't pick the Sony for video. I would pick the Panasonic. Or I would pick the
yeah.
Canon.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't pick the Sony unless you're probably like more photo than video.
Yeah, for sure. Which is strange.
A little bit. It does feel like we've gotten to a point in this segment where there's not an obvious winner and there's not an obvious loser. And so you do have to kind of look more nuanced at these things to figure it out.
I think that the obvious winner is us, the camera enthusiasts, because they're all good cameras.
They are all good cameras.
We didn't really get too much into the open gate thing, which I think like that's the big controversy around this thing. I want to talk about that a smidge before we wrap up.
Sounds good.
So I've heard two sides of this. One is like everyone keeps yapping about like open gate, man, 3x2. You can do crop vertical, crop horizontal.
We're starting to see more cameras with it. So I think because of that, it's coming a little more to the forefront of what people think about.
I've never really bought into the like argument about cropping vertical, cropping horizontal, and getting that extra like smidge of vertical resolution. But what I've really liked about open gate is like, here's a sensor. Just like read me pixel for pixel, everything that's off the sensor, like give me all of it, and then I'm going to do with it what I want. Yeah,
it just feels like you're keeping your options open.
Right, like that's what I like about open gate is like it's just full resolution. Yeah, like, give me the whole thing.
You do like the idea of anamorphic, even though you haven't shot anything anamorphic,
right? Which like for anamorphic 4x3 is better than 3x2, but like 3x2 is still fine. You can get those like 2x squeezes or whatever. Right. So I think open gate is a feature we want to see in cameras. I don't know if it's like the be all end all. It's like not the end of the world that it's not there, but I think that it's something that should be included.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I don't know if it's a deal breaker for me with the camera. But I guess it sort of is because I'm frustrated about not having anything over 4K.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But that's not exactly saying open gate. It's just saying like I want some higher resolution.
Would you have taken like if they gave you the high resolution but not open gate? Would you have been taking that and like been happy?
I guess I'd be like more satisfied. I think a good example of this is you have an XT5 that I used to own, and that does have a 6K mode, but it's 16:9.
Right.
Which is like I think we do shoot in that sometimes. It is nice, but what I do like about open gate is you do get that little bit of extra vertical resolution, and if you know you're going to have to deliver something in vertical, like it's kind of nice having that little bit of extra room.
Yeah, right. Instead of like having to take a step back and then crop in on a smaller image, kind of thing.
Or even if you're delivering in 16:9, it just gives you a little bit of ability to pick your frame. If you want to frame up or frame down without losing resolution, you can do that.
That's always been my main thing. It's less of like the vertical resolution, more of the fact that like I'm getting 5.7K or 6.2K or whatever, and I know that I need to deliver a 16:9 4K image, and if I'm going pixel for pixel, I can put that 16:9 4K box anywhere within the bounds of that 1:1, and I'm not necessarily like restricting myself.
Exactly.
I get that taking a 16:9 4K pixel for pixel crop out of a 5.7K image is worse image quality than shooting an oversampled image down to 4K because of that oversampled processing. You're just going to get better detail. And so I understand that it's not necessarily a 1:1, but like having that option is really, really nice for some workflows.
That's the main thing. I just want the choice. And unfortunately on the Sony, you don't get the choice.
Do you think, how much of a miss do you think this was? Like if 0 is no one cares and 10 is like, don't buy it.
No, I don't think it's that much of a miss. I think for this camera, the people that buy it are more like casual video shooters in the sense that, YouTubers buy it and stuff, but
in the sense that they have a YouTube channel.
I just feel like it's something that would have been nice to see, but I think there's plenty of people that will buy this camera and never even notice that it doesn't have that. So I don't think it was a miss. I think for us it is, but I don't know if we would really be buying this camera for video in this way. I feel like we would be more inclined to go with like a,
R6 Mark III.
Like a C50 or something.
Yeah, sure.
Like you'll go with a more video oriented thing.
Pixus 12K.
But it does frustrate me a little bit that they didn't include it because it feels like it was like right there. It just seems like a software limitation. I think
it does feel that way. And like Sony's real good at software updates. So whenever they release that with the FX or FX3 Mark II. Like, they'll go ahead and just roll that out.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure that's going to happen.
If I had to say, like, if 0's, no one cares, and 10's like total mess, don't buy this camera, it's like a 3 out of 10 to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer. And if I was making a list a week ago that was like, what kind of features does the A7 V have to have, it would have been on there. But like, fine, we'll all deal with it. Or not deal with it and not buy the camera.
Those are the options.
Yep, sure are. Was that super episode-y enough for you, Daniel?
I think it was pretty super episode.
I think we're going to need to do a whole other episode on this.
I think so.
Yep.
Man, the Sony bros are going to love it.
Yep.
That's it for the show today. Thanks for joining us, and if you liked it, tell a friend so they can check it out too. You can find out more about the show at www.cameragearpodcast.com, and you can find us on Twitter @CameraGearPod. We'll be back with more next week.